Are you tired of feeling drained and unappreciated in your relationships with women? In today's video, we will explore the key principles of Stoicism and reveal the 7 things you should avoid doing for women to cultivate a sense of inner strength and resilience. 1. Be careful when you're with them. Be careful when you're with them. This doesn't mean you should be anxious or suspicious, but you should be careful about what you say and do. Stoicism tells us to pay attention to the present and think about what we want to do before we do it. When dealing with women, you should be careful because they are sensitive and perceptive. They can pick up on signs and cues that guys might not even be aware of. Because of this, you should pay attention to your body language, tone of voice, and words when you're with women. Being careful doesn't mean you have to hide who you really are or act like someone you're not. A lot of guys make this mistake because they think they need to act a certain way to impress women. On the other hand, this can lead to fake relationships and unrealistic expectations, which is a bad thing. Be real and honest, but also plan how you're going to do things. This means being aware of the situation and setting and changing how you act based on that. For instance, you might not want to flirt or say sexual things when you're in a business setting. If you are on a date, on the other hand, it might be okay to show that you like them. Being careful also means being aware of how power works in the situation. Women are taught to be nice and helpful, even if they don't want to or feel safe doing so. In this case, there may be confusion and mixed messages. This is something that men should be aware of and respect. A woman's limits and permission. This doesn't mean you should be quiet or weak. It means you should be strong and polite. Being assertive means being honest about your feelings, wants, and thoughts while also seeing things from the other person's point of view. Respecting someone means recognizing and appreciating their independence and worth. Being careful also means being aware of the risks and results that could happen if you do something. For instance, if you're interested in a woman who is married or in a relationship, you might be making things harder for yourself and others. This can cause mental pain, problems with other people, and even legal trouble. When you have hookups or casual sex, you should be careful about your physical health and make sure the other person agrees. This means using protection, getting checked regularly, and being clear and honest about your goals and limits when you talk to others. 2. Don't let them know how you feel. A lot of the time, guys trust women with their feelings when they're with them. They let their guard down and talk about how they really feel, thinking that this will bring them closer together. But this can be a very bad mistake. Women don't always know how to deal with a man's feelings, and they might use them against him. In no way does this mean that women are naturally bad or untrustworthy. Men and women are different, so this is just a way of recognizing that. Women are more emotional and intuitive than guys. This can make it hard for women to understand or connect with a man's feelings, especially if they aren't used to dealing with them. Women are often taught to take care of others and support them. This can make them feel a man's feelings as if they were their own, which can be too much and make them angry. Some women may also think they need to fix a man's feelings, which can make the man reliant on the woman for his mental health. Men should be careful when they talk to women about how they feel because of this. That doesn't mean men should never be open or sensitive. It just means they should do it in a smart and planned way. They should be careful about who they let into their feelings and make sure that person is strong enough to handle them. An important way to do this is to work on becoming very independent. This means learning how to handle your own feelings and not needing other people to validate or support you. Also, it means being okay with being alone and not needing a woman to feel whole. Being aware of how the connection changes over time is another way to go about this. It could mean that a woman is not able to handle her feelings if she constantly brushes them off or criticizes them. It might be best to keep your feelings in check and work on other parts of the relationship instead. Sharing feelings is also a good thing to keep in mind, but it's not the only way to get closer in a relationship. Sharing activities, interests, and physical touch are all ways for men and women to bond. Men can build a good relationship without putting themselves at risk by focusing on these other areas. To get through this problem, You need to find a middle ground between being open and sensitive and being strong and independent. Men should be open about how they feel, but they should be careful about who they tell and how much they tell them. Stoicism tells us that we shouldn't depend on other people for our happiness or sense of self-worth, but instead should try to be self-sufficient. This means being careful about how we show our feelings and picky about who we trust when it comes to relationships with women. Men can deal with this problem and build strong, healthy relationships with women by focusing on becoming more independent, being aware of how the relationship works, and finding other ways to get closer. 3. Do what you enjoy. Doing what you love is an important part of having a happy life. It is one of the main ideas behind Stoicism, which stresses how important it is to live a good life and follow your purpose. When you do what you love, you not only reach your full ability, but your life also has meaning. To begin, doing what you love will make you happy and satisfied. When you do things you enjoy, you feel good feelings like happiness, excitement, and satisfaction. These feelings help you live a happy life and are good for your general health. Also, if you're really interested in something, you're more likely to do really well at it, which can help you get noticed and successful. Women may find you more beautiful if you feel better about yourself and your abilities. Second, doing what you love is a way to show how special and individual you are. The things that make each person unique are their hobbies, skills, and strengths. Giving up what you love for a woman means giving up who you are and what you believe in. It's possible to feel angry and sorry for yourself because you may think you've lost a part of yourself. Also, women like guys who have a clear sense of what they want to do. Women may find it attractive when you do what you love because it shows that you have a clear idea of what you want out of life. Third, doing what you love is a way to take care of yourself and get better. Putting money into things that push you and help you grow is called investing in yourself. This can help you grow as a person and learn more about yourself, which can be good for your relationships. Taking care of yourself also makes it more likely that you will have the energy and means to help other people. This could make you a better partner because you'll be more open and helpful. Doing the things you love can help you keep a good balance between your personal and romantic life. Hobbies and interests give you something to look forward to and make you happy that isn't your relationship. This can help you stay away from becoming too reliant on your partner for pleasure and approval. Having your own life can also make you more interesting and attractive to women, since you'll have things to talk about. Each person makes choices and acts based on their own set of ideals and principles. You give up what you value and care about when you give up what you love for a woman. This could make you feel guilty and ashamed because you might think you have let yourself down. Additionally, women are drawn to guys who have strong beliefs and values. If you do what you love, it shows that you know what's important to you, which can make you more beautiful to women. Doing what you love is an important part of having a happy life. It is one of the main ideas behind Stoicism, which stresses how important it is to live a good life and follow your purpose. When you do what you love, you not only reach your full ability, but your life also has meaning. When it comes to relationships, doing what you love is important for staying true to yourself and your freedom. It makes you happy and fulfilled, lets you show how unique and individual you are, helps you take care of yourself and get better, keeps your relationship and personal life in balance, keeps you from becoming codependent, and helps you stick to your values and priorities. So, never give up what you love for a woman because it's an important part of who you are. 4. Do not forget to do important things. For women, the fourth thing you should never do is put off doing important things. Even though this may seem like a no-brainer, it's surprising how many people forget to do their chores and tasks when they are dating or trying to find love. They might believe that by putting their partner's wants before their own, they are being romantic and selfless, but in reality, they are giving up their truth and values. Stoicism teaches us to be focused and controlled, to put tasks in order of how important and urgent they are, and to keep the promises we make. We should do this with our relationships as well as our work and personal goals. We let ourselves and the people who count on us down when we don't do things that are important. In the short and long run, skipping important tasks can lead to bad things. For instance, if you put off studying or working to spend more time with a woman, you might fall behind and not be able to reach your goals. This can cause stress, worry, and sadness for both of you and the woman who may have thought you would be more responsible and dependable. You could have big problems in the future if you don't do things that are important for your health, your finances, or your legal responsibilities. For example, if you put your health last to impress a woman, you might get sick or hurt, which could make it hard for you to work, take care of yourself, and keep a good relationship. If you skip over important chores, you might start putting them off and avoiding them, which can hurt your motivation and self-confidence. You are telling yourself that important jobs are not important, or that you can't handle them when you put them off till later. This can make you question yourself and do nothing, which can have an effect on every part of your life. To let the woman in your life know what's important to you and what your limits are. To help her understand what's important to you, tell her what you need to do. Don't be afraid to say no if she asks you to do something that doesn't fit with your goals. Be honest and clear about your availability and limits. To be controlled and focused, and to stay away from things that might pull you away from your goal. This means giving your important tasks their own room and time, and avoiding distractions like TV, social media, and other things that aren't necessary. It also means being aware of your feelings and thoughts, and not letting them get in the way of your goals. Stoicism tells us to be aware and present, to pay attention to the here and now, and not worry about the past or the future. When you're working on something important, give it your full attention and don't let other things or thoughts of the woman in your life distract you. You should also be fully present and attentive to the woman in your life when you're with her. Don't let your mind wander to work or other duties. 5. Watch how much you spend. Stoicism tells us to live a simple, modest life without getting too fancy or giving in to our wants. This way of thinking stresses how important it is to be happy with what we have and thankful for it instead of always wanting more. This way of thinking can be very helpful when it comes to spending money on women. Understanding that giving a woman money won't always make her like you more is important. It might be tempting to give her lots of expensive gifts and fancy dates, but this isn't going to work in the long run. Instead, work on making a real connection with her by finding things you have in common, like values and hobbies. It's important to know how much money you have and how much you can spend. Spending too much on a woman can cause stress and worry about money, which can be bad for your mental and emotional health. This is bad for you and could hurt your friendship with her as well. You should make a budget and stick to it to avoid this. Check your budget to see how much you can spend on gifts and dates, and remember that memories are more important than things. Remember that what counts is not the price, but the thought and work that went into it. Stoicism also teaches us how to be independent and able to take care of ourselves. This means that we should be in charge of our own money and not count on other people to take care of us. When it comes to spending money on women, this way of thinking can keep us from feeling like we have to spend more than we can afford. It's important to let the woman you're interested in know about your cash goals and limits. She will understand and value your honesty if she respects and values you. If, on the other hand, she expects or forces you to spend too much on her, it could be a sign that she is more interested in your money than in you. Stoicism teaches us to be aware of our wants and urges. As soon as we think about spending money on women, our feelings take over and we make hasty choices. This can cause buyer's remorse and sadness over money. The Stoic way of life tells us to be thankful for what we have and to live in the present. This way of thinking can help us enjoy the little things in life more and stay away from the trap of always wanting more when it comes to spending money on women. When you spend money on women, especially, being careful with your money is an important part of Stoicism. Spending decisions can be more thoughtful and deliberate if you live a simple and modest life. Make a budget, talk about your financial goals, pay attention to your wants, and focus on the present moment. This is good for your finances and will help you have a better, more real relationship with the woman you're interested in. 6. You should let someone else talk for you. There are times in our lives when we might feel scared, confused, or unsure of who we are. When things like this happen, it can be easy to let someone else talk. Having someone else talk for us, on the other hand, can be bad, especially when it comes to our relationships with women. Someone else's words take away our power and freedom when we let them talk for us. We're letting someone else tell the story and set the rules for the talk. This can hurt our confidence and sense of self-worth because we might start to doubt our skills and worth. It can also be seen as a sign of weakness and insecurity to let someone else talk for us. Women like guys who are sure of themselves, able to make their feelings known, and good at communicating. People who let others talk for them send the message that they can't stand up for themselves or say what they think and feel. It's possible to fight the urge to let someone else speak for us once we know the situations that make us want to do so. To do this, you can work on being bold and talking to people better. This can mean learning how to say what we're thinking and feeling in a clear and concise way, as well as how to listen and reply in the right way. You can also avoid letting someone else talk for you by building your confidence and sense of self-worth. Setting and working toward personal goals is one way to do this. Other ways are to celebrate our successes and recognize our abilities. There is a lower chance that we will need someone else to speak for us when we are sure of ourselves. Additionally, we should keep in mind that letting someone else talk for us can hurt our relationships with women. We are not letting the woman get to know us for who we really are when we let someone else talk for us. This can cause confusion, bad communication, and a loss of connection and closeness in the end. Giving someone else the power to talk for us can also reinforce negative gender roles and stereotypes. When men let someone else talk for them, it reinforces the idea that men can't show how they feel or communicate clearly. This might make a society of toxic masculinity stronger, where men are afraid to show they are weak or ask for help. We show our power, courage, and honesty when we take responsibility for what we say and do. That we can stand up for ourselves and say what we think and feel in a polite and confident way shows the woman that we are strong. This can help you connect and understand each other better, which can make your relationship more rewarding and meaningful. The Stoic concept of acceptance can also be used to explain why we shouldn't let other people speak for us. We don't have to fight or avoid situations where we might want to let someone else speak for us. Instead, we can choose to see them as chances to learn and grow. We can become more resilient, confident, and self-aware by facing these obstacles and taking action. Giving someone else the power to talk for us can hurt our self-esteem, confidence, and relationships with women. To stop this from happening, we can work on being bold and communicating clearly, building our confidence and sense of self-worth, and remembering how important it is to own up to our words and actions. Following the ideas of Stoicism in this practice can help us become more mindful, detached, and accepting, which will eventually help us live happier, more meaningful lives. 7. If someone cheated on you, think about forgiving them. Many thinkers, psychologists, and theologians have argued for hundreds of years about the idea of forgiveness. One way to get rid of anger and bitterness is to do what many people see as a kind and noble thing to do. But forgiving someone who has cheated on you isn't always the best thing to do. When someone cheats on their partner, they break trust and hurt the connection. That person did something on purpose that hurts and hurts others emotionally. When a woman cheats on her partner, she not only breaks her promise to be faithful, but she also doesn't care about how he feels and treats him badly as a person. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you forget about or agree with what they did. For sure, it doesn't mean that they didn't cheat or that it wasn't a big deal. To forgive someone, you have to admit that they did something wrong and choose to let go of the anger and bitterness that it caused. But this doesn't change the results of what was done, and it doesn't free the cheater from duty. Healing and moving on are part of the process of forgiving someone, but that doesn't mean the friendship can or should be saved. In fact, forgiving someone who cheated on you might be the best way to end the relationship with class and grace instead of anger and hostility. To forgive someone is a gift, not a prize that you have to work for. The cheater might say sorry and promise to change, but that doesn't mean they won't do it again. That being said, you shouldn't use forgiveness as a bargaining chip or to trick the cheater into sticking with you. It's not a sign of weakness or submission to forgive someone. Forgiving someone is not a sign of weakness or giving up. It shows strength and bravery. People who can forgive someone who has hurt them badly are very strong. It's not a sign of weakness to forgive. It's a sign of growth and wisdom. To forgive someone, you have to recognize and accept the feelings that the cheating made you have. For sure, when someone cheats on you, you'll feel angry, hurt, and cheated. It doesn't mean that these feelings aren't real or important. It just means that the subject has chosen to let them go and move on. Forgiving someone is a very personal thing that is different for everyone. Some people can forget right away, while others may need more time or have a hard time with it. It's not a race or a competition to forgive someone. Instead, it's a path that takes time. It takes strength and guts to forgive someone, and it shouldn't be used as a reward or a bargaining chip. To follow the wise words of Stoicism, here are 7 things you should never do for women. Remember that Stoicism tells us to accept what we can't change and focus on what we can. By following these rules, your life will be more satisfying and calm, whether you have a woman with you or not.